It is with great sadness that I have to inform you that wreckage retrieved from the North Atlantic early this morning has now been identified as coming from the plane carrying our nation's Prime Minister. The government is therefore regretfully adopting an official position. The Prime Minister is dead. A memorial service will be held within the next week, and the party will choose a new leader to take us into the election. I hope I speak for all of us when I say that as a man and a leader, he will be greatly missed. Coming as this does, tragically, this comes in the wake of the disaster in Scarrow, and on the back of a good few years now of real hardship for a lot of people in this country. And you might feel, as I do, that our nation is being sorely tested. It is. It is. But a tragedy like this can act to bring us together, despite political differences and economic strife. I have a powerful belief that all those who live in this great nation of ours can play a part as we pick our way through our current troubles, and that even in the midst of tragedy, we must have faith that there is a better path ahead. Charles Flyte may be dead, but that idea of faith and hope must endure. Our thoughts are with his wife and with his family. Thank you.
Well done.
The search is intensifying, not for survivors now, but for the flight recorder. Specialists from the US Navy are here, and they're determined to discover whether foul play or mechanical failure lies at the roots of this tragedy.
Charles Flyte's reputation as a breath of fresh air in the stale arena of British politics may have been in doubt in the months before his death.
Getting out of the car, John Hodder, appointed Chief Whip by Charles Flyte, and continues to hold great sway within the government.
Arriving with the Chief Whip, the Foreign Secretary, Ros Yelland, not always the most on message of
The unmistakable figure of the Home Secretary, Felix Durrell, perhaps Charles Flyte's closest friend.
And here comes Tom Dawkins, not thought to have been personally close to the Prime Minister, but Charles Flyte appreciated his gravitas and experience, appointing him as his deputy despite opposition.
Nothing to report on the investigation.
No black box, no story.
Seen enough?
It was you that brought those cowboys here. Your government. So what are you gonna do?
Next 5 years.
I'm not a leader.
You look very like one making that speech the other day. You were a captain in the army for 10 years.
That's where I learned my lesson.
Then you're a different man now. And you know it. Now look me in the eye and tell me it isn't true.
She wants me to be her deputy.
Tom, we need someone with balls. As DPM to Ross Yelland, you're like the Sultan's fucking eunuch. Come on.
Could you hold on one moment? Tom, you met with a pathologist when you were in Scarrow, Mark Ashcroft.
Oh, yes.
He's called us in the press room half a dozen times to try and reach you.
Dr. Ashcroft, briefly, please.
Nisa Matthews, the little girl whose hand you found. There are toxicity readings in her soft tissue that I wouldn't expect to find. Her and all of the blast victims.
What sort of toxicity readings?
The father's the same, but much more pronounced. He's awash with it. I want to make sure that it's not a genetic anomaly, so I need to keep hold of both of their bodies.
Surely by now you must have completed your investigation.
Her dad, Dermot Matthews, worked at the plant, so I've been asking what he might have come into contact with. The company have been fighting me every inch of the way. They even tried to deny that the body was his at first. Said he wasn't on site at the time. The mother's told the press that I'm keeping the bodies for no reason. I'm under siege just because I'm trying to do my job.
Dr. Ashcroft, we're talking about a woman who's lost her husband and her daughter. Mrs. Matthews just wants the bodies of her loved ones back.
And she will get them. Just as soon as Petrofex give me the information that I need to complete the post-mortems.
Yes. Well, thank you for calling, Doctor.
Hello? Who is this? Who is this?
Bless my soul, it's the father of the nation. Oh. Well, very statesmanlike.
Tony Fawcett.
Him?
Yes.
And, her?
Yes.
And him?
No.
You just haven't met him yet. As you were.
All right. Stand down.
You never lose it.
So how are you, Tony?
Could you lend me 20? I've got a cabbie waiting outside.
Taxi's got an oily chain, has it?
I've been to see my sister. You remember her? You shagged her once.
Me? I was blameless. I took the sofa because she wanted the spare room.
Yeah, and why were you on my sofa?
You know bloody well why I was on the sofa.
You compounded your misdemeanor on my sofa with my sister. Now look at you. I miss those days. Pass me your phone, will you? Do you mind if I take the battery out? You can never be too careful.
Nobody's bugging me, Tony.
Maybe. As long as you have a battery in your phone, they can drop in whenever they like.
Yeah, man. We do.
I need your help, Tony. I'm getting nothing from Laura Duchan. No help with Petrofex.
The mighty Laura Duchenne was a loaded reports officer when I was at MI5. She always did have her own agenda. And now she's running the place. She could never live with the idea that I knew she'd cocked up on Nightlight.
I had a call from the pathologist. There are toxins at Scarrow that he can't explain. Now Petrifex are obstructing his investigation. So I need to know what they're hiding.
Charles told me that they were going to pay out big compensation. But they've gone very quiet on that front.
Have to show him what you're made of, Tom.
New leader to take them forward into the general election.
Good luck, sir.
The dark patches are burn marks, in all probability a bomb.
Is it true you spoke to the pathologist the day he died?
There's mention of a substance, PFX44.
Al-Qaeda claimed it pretty early on.
If we're going to get a shot at them, it'll have to be now.
I'm going to ask you to stop right there.
You don't suppose they'll shoot us, do you?
Well, you can never tell with the Americans, sir.
They won't spike Tony Fawcett because he's an intramural subject.
Meaning?
A bad influence, am I? Is that it? Know too much about you, do I?
It's personal.
Don't say my name. I was hoping we could have a talk.
Just need to get our angles right. And get the word from you.
This may be our one shot.
They're praying.
Well, then we've got him.
You can't kill a man while he's praying.
Is this you? Bosnia in 1992.
And when he comes a cropper, I want people to say, remember what Rosie Ellen said.
They're on the move. This is our last chance.
Tom,